At what point in time do you think Googling draft stopped bringing up results of coerced military participation and instead brought up like the NFL?
Well, the coerced military participation hasn't been relevant since like 1972, and
But American history is.
the NFL draft started being relevant in 1983. So before Google existed.
But then the NFL draft stopped being.
That's true. But then Eli Manning happened.
I was going to say, certainly this podcast network knows a thing or two about bringing up
That is
Eli Manning.
uh,
He's a common character
the
here.
the butterfly effect. Without Eli Manning, this podcast wouldn't exist.
Hey, that's true.
Hard,
That's
hard
true.
to argue. It's hard to argue.
And if this podcast didn't exist, I couldn't look absolutely mortified in front of the bartender at my local lesbian bar. Sorry, whoever your name is. Thanks for your appreciation of this show.
Welcome back. Today on the show, we'll go through our annual 25 under 25. Welcome. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever it's a podcast and on YouTube. My name is Hunter Cruse. I'm your Saturday host covering the WNBA draft and prospect scouting. Today I'm joined by my co-hosts Emily Adler and Lincoln Shafer. Emily covers draft focus on player development and the game within the game. Lincoln also contributes to our draft coverage here at Locked On Women's Basketball. And the next, like I said in the intro, we'll be each drafting our teams. Not just, the best players. We're going to be building our own lineups, our own rotations. The last 2 years, we can say Lincoln has won the draft. Last year took Leonie Phoebish when I don't think Phoebish was on my board. I don't know if she was on your board, Em, but
I think I never heard of her.
I had no clue. And
That's a joke, to be clear. Our job is to know these players, especially when they don't become around.
But we weren't like that. She wasn't someone we were like that talking about that often, though.
I didn't think she was going to be the
Right.
like fourth or fifth best player on the title team.
That's true.
No.
I didn't think that either. I got a little lucky there. But I knew that she was a very talented shooter. I'd watched her play some of the international ball against Belgium. Very fun in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we're drafting these players again, and this year's list is definitely our best since we've been starting doing this because we dropped the 2021 draft pretty much, and we now have 2025. So we have a lot more players than three quality players from that draft in 2021.
Yeah, we dropped 3 players who graduated because of age eligibility. That'd be Ari, Dana, and Shook Sutton. If you think someone's missing from that list, I'm sorry. Wrong. We grabbed everyone from the past draft and a bunch of players from the draft before who honestly look even better than they did when they were drafted. Shout out to Aaliyah Edwards and Rakia Jackson. All right, I'm assigning numbers based on our clockwise position on this board, starting with Hunter. First pick goes to Lincoln. Good again.
Ooh.
Second pick goes to no.
What?
No.
Huh?
You. We'll be going
Randomness.
clockwise. Yeah, randomness generated Lincoln 3 times in a row. Lincoln goes first. Hunter, you go second. I go third, and we snake.
Okay, let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, with the first pick, I'm taking Caitlin Clark. It's not a particularly difficult pick. She is the point guard is the scarcest position here, and she's also just the best player on the board.
I didn't realize until exactly right now that I'm so screwed. I noticed
I've
sort of
won this
positional
draft.
issue with my draft position.
Yeah, well, there's some good options if you get into the depths of the position here.
Your front court could be stacked. Which
It
I'm
will
pretty sure
be
was the case.
stacked.
I'm pretty sure last year you drafted like 3 bigs. It started all 3 of them. I'm pretty sure you did that.
I think last year I drafted Ezzy and AB.
And you had I think you had someone else that was a.
Or it was like
4
Kira
at
and
3.
Ezzy or something.
We had all walk at the 3. I think it was too on your team.
That was 3 years ago.
This might be happening again. So, number 2 for me, pretty easy. It's Paige Beckers.
Who?
Good basketball player.
Okay, excellent insight. I'm on the clock. Next pick is very easy. It's Cameron Brink.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my pick after, I'm going to live in a fantasy world where all backs are magically healed and all hips never shatter. And in this fantasy world, I'm taking Shakira Austin.
That is way earlier than I would have drafted. I don't think I would have drafted her.
I think a healthy Shakira Austin.
But that's not reality though.
It's reality, it is.
We'll see. We'll see on the court.
There's no accounting for injury. Also, I'd like the fit there better.
Yes, there is. If she doesn't perform,
Then I'll account for injury and say, you know what?
you're screwed.
No, I'll say, you know what? Invalid results.
Oh,
Too bad.
well, that
Also,
sets
like,
me up very well here.
Also, Cameron Brink just fits better with Shakira Austin than like Aaliyah Boston.
No, Cam and Kira together is so sick. That's
On
so
both
fun.
ends, quite frankly.
Yeah.
You can't defend that or attack it.
There's many ways I could go in this spot, I believe. I'm taking Ezzy Mabagor here.
Good pick.
Wrong pick.
I just think the idea of having Ezzy at the 5, and I think there's a good amount of quality wings that I feel comfortable passing on one player that I think's towards the top of my board as well. Who I'm sure Lincoln might take here.
Yeah. The top player on my board as of this moment is who I'm going to take here. I'm taking Ryan Howard.
Yeah, that's what I was going to take if I wasn't.
Not at the top. That is also not at the top of my board.
That is who is at the top of my board as of this moment. She is very talented. We are getting up threes. Okay, I don't have any coaches under 25.
You hiring Carl?
Yeah, we're keeping Carl's system in place here. Getting to the rim and we're shooting threes.
You're just gonna hire his like son to run it, assuming his son is
sure.
25 or under.
Sure, maybe he's 14.
What is this, the New York Jets?
Yeah. Yeah. My first two picks, I'm going Caitlin Clark, Ryan Howard.
Now draft your center.
Yeah, I have to draft a center now. I'm gonna take Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're set up pretty well.
that was my number. That was my number 4.
Yeah. Ryan and Aaliyah were very close to each other on my ranking, along with Ezzy. So I feel good about that. I got my top ranked ball handler, my top ranked wing, and my second or third big.
Now the 2 top players on my board are both bigs, and I do not want to go with the 2 non-shooter strategy in my front court. So in this spot, I'm taking Leonie Phoebus here.
Not bad.
I think it's pretty fun. Surround Paige with another spacer that can defend multiple spots, and then just the defense. Just let's go crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Not the highest. The number 2 on my board remaining. The number 1 on my board remaining does not fit on this team at all. The number 2 is Layla Lay Khan. We are drafting Layla Lay Khan. That I assume could be seen coming from a mile away. She's an insanely good player. She is not a 1, but she can play the 1. She's plus playmaker at any other position, and that's good enough for now. I have to fill the others. I could screw over Hunter and take Malanga, so he has no centers at all.
I have Ezzy.
I could take Aaliyah Edwards, so Hunter can't take a power forward.
I have other power forwards higher on my board, so I'm chilling.
Then Leah Edwards?
Yeah.
He's feeling French.
Anyway, I'll take Sonia Citron.
Good pick.
Number 2 remaining player on my board yet again. We have now filled out our wing spots. I feel comfortable saying that I will have a better wing room in totality than either of you. Godspeed to replace my point guard position. They're going to have a very easy job.
You might need a deep bench for your injury concerns at the 5.
Agree to disagree. Because in this world, if Kira tears her ACL again, or she hasn't torn it yet, she tears her ACL.
Oh my god.
Then you know what? Who cares? Invalid results.
Okay.
Let's go to ad.
Well, yeah, let's go to our first ad break, and then we'll continue with the rest of our draft in segment 2. NBA fans, you know what time it is. Playoff season means big performances and even bigger rewards. DoorDash is bringing the heat with slam dunk deals for Dash Pass members during the 2025 NBA playoffs. It's called They Swoosh that you score anytime a player drops 50 or more points in a playoff game. Dash Pass members score a free 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the very next day. Just place an order of $20 or more. Use code WINGSTOP50 at checkout, and that combo is yours. Offer valid noon to midnight the day after the game. Terms apply. So here's the play. Sign up for Dash Pass to unlock this and more exclusive deals all season long. When any player scores 50 plus in a playoff game, Dash Pass members can grab a free 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the next day with a $20 plus order in code WINGSTOP50. That's Dash Pass, your door to save more savings, more flavor, and more ways to win. Terms apply. For my team so far, to refresh, I have Paige Beckers, Leonie Phoebus, and Ezzy Mabagor, so I can go in many different spots here.
Except the 5.
I could go talent. I could go fit. I feel confident in.
I think anyone would fit except they're a 5. Except for if they're a 5.
Yeah, a lot of different players would fit in this position. I wanna. I'm gonna. Okay, let's take Jordan Horston. No, never mind. I'm taking that back. I'm not taking Jordan Horston. Never mind. I changed my mind.
Jordan Horston's number 3 on my board right now, so that would be a good pick.
I didn't really include any injured players.
Yeah, I don't feel as confident there. I'm gonna take Aaliyah Edwards here.
Good pick.
Exactly what I expected.
Even though she's not higher, I'm still taking Aaliyah Edwards.
Okay, well she should be. So
I gotta block her.
You've ended up making the right decision in the end. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm rounding out my starting 5 here. I could take a real 4, or I could just take another big.
Remind us who's on your team so far.
I have Caitlin Clark, Ryan Howard, and Aaliyah Boston.
It's a lot of number 1 picks.
And that is a lot of
It's
number
a
1
good
picks.
basketball team.
I think I don't have any other number 1 picks that I could take though.
Charlie Collier's still available.
Is Charlie Collier based on... Here's the thing. I think we can call Awakawir like the shadow number 1 pick, given the fact that any other pick combination results in her going number 1. So she's eligible.
So I can take like a stretchier 4 that's a little bit lower down my rankings, or I can just take the player that's at the top of my rankings now. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to take Dominique Malonga, who is my top-ranked player available, and just figure it out.
A 6th player of the year in the U25 league?
Sure. Yeah. She is very talented, and that makes another vertical threat for Caitlin Clark. Just throw some lobs. Lean into the Trae Young of it. And just to be rude, I think the next player on my list that I'm going to take is kind of more of an on-ball guard. Take some ball handling responsibilities. And I'm going to take Monica Koa-Makani.
Okay, cool.
You're just stealing my players.
Honestly, I thought he was going to go with someone else, and I was saying while I was still muted, I was like, I'm going to kill you.
Akoa Makani really, really impressed me in the preseason game that Vegas played against Phoenix. Phoenix played against Vegas, rather. She was very solid defensively. The playmaking is there. There's some scoring ability there. She just doesn't really make mistakes. A bit on the older side here. She's 24, going into her age 25 season next year.
Still qualifies next year. So.
Still qualifies. But I like her as a defensive guard to put next to my backcourt here.
Someone I was excited about and now can't take.
Very talented player.
I could go with a 2, or I could go with someone to play on my bench. In this spot, I think I'm gonna go Yusta Yosite in this spot.
Okay.
I feel confident in my defense with Paige, Phoebus, Edwards, Mabagor to just say, screw it. We're taking the best offensive player available. And as far as potential, I think there's some stuff here to play up the 2 next to Paige.
Not defend the 2, but
offensively, get some buckets.
Yeah. I was saying, unless you're really daring. So I need a point guard or someone to not play the nominal point guard, and I get a 6th player. I could really do almost anything here. Lakon can play 2 positions. Sejong can play 1 position. Cam can play 2 positions. Kira can play 1.5 positions. I do a lot of stuff. She's. Mm, I don't know if both these players. No, I can't take a chance with that. Okay, so I'm going to take as my nominal point guard, even though she's not the top ranked player on my board. We're going to take Tina Pow. You know, there's a decent split among members of this podcast, maybe where she should be ranked here in terms of this tier versus the next tier.
But
yeah, no, I wouldn't pick her this high if I didn't need a guard there. And I would probably honestly wait to the next round to take one anyway. But for the sake of this podcast exercise, better to have that than nothing. And then we are going to take as our sixth player. I have creation from Lacan. I have creation from Kira, but I don't have a lot of other creations. So we're going to take Ricky Jackson. There are other options. There are better defenders. There are not as good of shot creators left on the board. And I really don't need any defense, considering Lacan, Citron, Cam, and Kira are all, I would argue, plus positional defenders, or at least project to be. So we're taking Ricky.
And I feel good enough that I think Ricky can be serviceable defensively.
I think she would be serviceable. I'm just saying in terms of where we're seeing the pluses.
Yeah.
Like, give me plus shot creation right now.
Yeah. If she's your worst defender on the court, I think you feel pretty good about it.
You're doing great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think she's still soft enough.
100%.
Okay, so I have my whole starting five now: Paige, Eustace, Leonie, Aaliyah, Ezzy. So I can go anywhere from my bench. I'm gonna go with a player that gives me as much lineup combination flexibility and take Janelle Salon out of France in the spot. I just think the different combinations of having Phoebish and Salon at my 3-4 is just so fun. Salon's like the strong physical player. Phoebish is more like finesse, just good footwork, positioning, a lot of shooting. I like that combination. Then you got Aaliyah as well to play in that little spot right there.
Yep.
Lincoln, you want to round out our top six before we go to our second ad break?
Yeah. I think I'm going to take, someone that could start for me in spots, someone that can come off the bench. I'm going to take Maddie Siegrist.
Ooh.
Who is a good scorer, can play kind of the 3 or the 4. I feel more comfortable with her at the 4 in my lineup next to, kind of sharing the power forward responsibilities with Ryan Howard. That's something that I can see kind of working out. Put them next to Leah Boston or Dominique Malonga. A lot of good things can happen with that kind of lineup.
Okay, let's get to our final ad break, then Lincoln will get back with his next pick. All right, did you know Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. With Wi-Fi and auto low latency mode advanced technology, Fire TV Stick 4K delivers smooth, more responsive gameplay and lightning fast speeds you need to stay competitive. Head to Amazon.com/FireTV Locked On to get started. That is Amazon.com/FireTV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Okay, Lincoln, who is your next pick?
Yeah, I am a little bit torn here. I kind of want to just take the best player I have available, who is at a position that I already have filled, or I could take, kind of a more scalable, versatile wing who can fit into multiple roles. But I think the grade difference for me is a little too strong. I'm going to take Camila Cardoso. And
I think Camilla's based on just pure talent. The tough part is, I think, with this draft and how we look at roster building, is we want to have as much flexibility with lineups versus having 5 onlys.
I'm also surprised.
I'm buying the Kool-Aid that Noelle Quinn is selling me, that Dominique Malonga can play the 4 and maybe occasionally even the 3. So we're just going to have to run with that.
She said 3 years ago they wanted Ezzy as a 4 going forward, and the next year they only played her at the 5.
I mean, yeah,
I'm going to
buy the Kool-Aid.
I'm also surprised that
I'm with you there, Lincoln.
because I know the wing you were talking about. I'm surprised that you had that much of a grade difference in favor of Cardoso.
I like what Cardoso does, and
I thought I didn't think she was bad last year. I certainly, but I
look,
wasn't exactly encouraged by it.
I'm gonna try and play as many players over 6'4" as I can. So, that's kind of the goal here.
I always knew you bore a passing resemblance to Bill Laimbeer.
Exactly, yeah. Big lineups talk to me.
I'm taking Angel Reese here. It might be early for some, but I think with where I'm at.
You mean everyone else?
I think it's reasonable. She's talented. I like what I saw in the preseason from her.
It's fun. If she does in the regular season what she does in the preseason, then I'd agree. I just don't think we've ever cared about the preseason enough.
I love the preseason. Okay.
We know. I think you've watched every game, even if it was 60 seconds.
I have not.
The only thing you love more than the preseason is the third team Hungarian league, or is the third league Hungarian teams.
Listen, these fourth quarters where it's like today we were watching Haley Peters try to post up. I was.
Well, yes, me and him.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah, that's why we're.
But he was willingly watching it though. You were just there.
I was mostly watching Villanova Columbia. To be fair.
Haley Peters is is getting down into the post to post up against Kennedy Burke or Marquisha Davis. This is real hoops.
One of two Duke alumni in that game who probably shouldn't be on a WNBA roster.
Thank you, Leon Odom.
Thank you for your service.
Next up, back-to-back picks.
Oh, who'd you pick?
Adler.
Oh, right, Angel Reese. We just did discourse about that. This is very easy, actually. I don't need a big. So we're going... Jordan Horston comes first. That was very easy. Jordan Horston, again, I have an insane amount of positional flexibility here. Actually don't. I have an insane amount of roster sort of like customizability. Here's the thing. There's a certain point when you don't need that much flexibility. Like,
if
for
they're
example,
just good, who cares?
Well, that's the thing. 100, like 3/4 of your roster can be moved around different positions. At a certain point, that's unnecessary because you've already moved around enough people that like it just becomes redundant. So like, I don't need Citron to play anything. Yeah, well, I'm just arguing my team's better. I don't need Citron to play a second position when everyone else can just play a second position instead. Anyway, I'm going to steal the only decent guard left on the entire board. Come on down, Carla Late.
Yeah, I may be cooked. I may be cooked at my backup.
When these players are actually healthy.
Look, we're drafting for the future, right?
Okay. I'm a little bit screwed as far as taking a point guard, and I also can't take a non-shooter because I have Angel already on my bench.
4 point guards from the Washington Mystics you could take.
I would rather not draft any of them, and I would rather just take. I'm gonna go with just a bucket. I'm taking a Zaya James here.
That's a little bit of a reach, but I respect it.
I have to respect it. Yeah. On the eighth pick here.
That's definitely the top ranked like pure guard on my board.
Which is what I need. So.
Yeah, you're welcome for that.
Let me talk through.
My job is not to win. My job is just to make you guys uncomfortable for a couple minutes.
Okay, my team here. I have Caitlin Clark, Ryan Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Akoa Makani. I kind of need somebody. Why not?
Do you have anyone to play the 4?
That's what Maddie Segrist is for.
Do you have anyone to play target her every time?
Ryan at the 3? Hello, Vicky Johnson.
Yeah. Why not? I think that my best positional fit here at the end, it's a little reachy. It's not the top ranked player on my board. I'm gonna take JC Sheldon.
Huh? I forgot to rank her.
That was my top guard available.
I forgot to rank her. I told you, Hunter. I told you there was going to be a player who was picked that I didn't put on the board.
Which leaves one of my top ranked players that I was considering taking there was also Ray Burrell. So I'm taking more guard here.
Taking Ray Burrell?
I'm not taking Ray Burrell. What? Are we doing another round? I don't think we're doing another round.
Yeah, if we did another round, I think we'd have to do 2 more rounds.
Are we doing 2 more rounds?
It has to end with you. It has to end
10
with you.
deep? Okay, let's go 10 deep. Yeah, let's go 10 deep.
Let's go, brother. What? Is that actually your next pick?
Yes, I'm taking Ray Burrell next.
Why?
I was
She wasn't
really
on my
impressed by.
She's
I was
not
really
on my
impressed by what
board.
she did at the end of last season.
You're selling.
It was 2 games. It was
Trust
2 games
me.
against teams that weren't trying. She did the
It
same
was
thing
the
the year
last
before.
2 months of the season.
She did the
I
same
was
thing the
the
year
one-
before against the Liberty, and it wasn't real.
I was the person who called her like the tank commander for the first 2 months of the season.
You were hating.
And then
You were like the
she
biggest hater on
was.
the
Me
planet.
wrong.
Okay,
She
she was
proved me
too.
wrong.
Okay, she was too good for the strategy Kurt was doing, where he put her in every time he needed to tank a game.
Exactly. Yeah,
But that doesn't make her
She's my 9th player in like my 3rd or 4th wing.
over
I'm not
Sanaya
too
Rivers.
concerned. Yeah, sure.
What?
That's
She can
insane.
rake and
That's
shoot.
insane.
It's
I'm sorry.
deranged.
Rake and shoot.
This is not what I meant when I said you were
Can she
deranged.
shoot
Also,
though? Can she shoot? She's the most theoretical shooter possible because the jumper looks so pretty. It just like
No,
never.
the most theoretical shooter possible is still Charlie Collier. It
She
always
doesn't
will be
count.
Charlie
She doesn't
Collier.
count. She's not in the league.
I'm
She's in the
standing by this.
Mexican League. The Mexican League is still a league.
There's a lot of players in that league. Okay, am I on the clock again?
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, Ray Burrell did shoot over 40% in the WNBL 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why
Yeah,
Lincoln's drafting her
back
because
to-
WNBL.
WNBL is real basketball. Back to Hunter.
It's the fakest basketball I've ever seen.
It's real hoop. I have multiple other WNBL players in my top ranked available here.
Thank you, Lincoln, because
You
now
may
I
not
can,
draft Jazz Shelley. No.
now my bench can be the NC State backcourt, and I am taking Sanaya Rivers.
Screw you, Lincoln.
Sanaya,
Why wouldn't I take Monique Conti?
I don't really need a guard. I should pick one, but I don't need one. I'm taking enough upside swings already. I'll take one more. We are drafting Yara Sabali.
Good pick. I removed her because I have another pick.
Yeah,
She's
I
the
was.
second ranked big left on my board.
Yeah, I was most in terms of bigs. I was mostly debating between her, Fagan, and Livy Nelson Adada.
Mm-hmm.
But I want upside swings, and I don't want a true center on this roster because I hate post ups.
Makes sense.
It does if you know me. We're gonna follow that up with. Oh, we should not have gone 10 deep.
We should. Is this your 10th pick or 9th pick?
This is my 10th pick. Okay, so far we're yeah. No, I'm not gonna do that yet. So we're gonna take. Oh. You know what? Screw it. Oleri Kosu can play the 2.
Ugh!
That's so funny.
That's terrible. That's,
Look,
at least
look.
I haven't drafted the worst player in this draft.
No, Lincoln has.
No, I think Ray Burrell is better.
I mean, maybe at this exact moment, yes.
I think we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Kosu's fun. Okay, my final pick.
It's also my 10th player. I don't need my 10th player to be good.
I think I'm
They get
gonna
2 minutes a game.
I'm gonna continue my dog factor approach for my bench because that's what we're doing. You know, you got your starters and you just bring in some dogs off the bench. You know, let's take Sarah Ashley Barker. I'm trying to.
I'm gonna take JJ Quinterly, and
She was my next ranked
true
true guard.
bench.
Yep, I was deciding between her.
It was between her and Jade Melbourne for me. So I'm taking Quinterly because she brings a little bit more defense. She brings a little bit more pop athletically, and I feel like that was kind of what I was missing here. And I am very happy with my team.
Nice.
So what's your team, Lincoln?
My team at the point guards, nominal point guards, we have Caitlin Clark and Monique Okolo-Makani. At the nominal 2, we have J.C. Sheldon and Janiyah Quinterly. And then Ryan Howard and Ray Burrell at the 3. Maddie Siegrist is kind of my only 4, but we'll play Dominique Malonga there too. And then we'll play Aaliyah Boston and Camila Cardoso at the 5.
I think you have the best top end talent, but I think I like me and M's depth better, personally.
Well,
Agree. I also like me better.
Ah. Okay, what's your rotation in?
You're the number 2 pick.
Okay, hey, I'll let you go first. But okay, my starting one is Paige Beckers. Backing her up is kind of just a bunch of players. We'll say it's Sanaya Rivers, but it could be Isaiah James, Sarah Ashley Barker. 2, Yusa Yosite. 3, Leonie Phoebish. 4, Aaliyah Edwards. And at the 5, Ezzy Mabagor. Off my bench is Janelle Salon, Angel Reese, Isaiah James, Sanaya Rivers, Sarah Ashley Barker. So just
That's a nice combination. Although your bench is very like low ceiling, high floor.
hey, I mean
They're playing
Salon,
some defense. They're playing
got-
some defense.
I
The
have
starters are.
6'1", 6'5'9", 6'3", 6'3". I mean and they're all athletes. Switch. That's good.
Project 6'9", baby. Yeah. So I am starting at the 1. I can actually do a whole bunch of things here. 4 of my 5 starters are going to be Layla Lekan, Sonia Citron, Cameron Brink, and Shakira Austin. The remaining starter, really, it could be Jordan Horston. It could be Tina.
You don't
Papa.
have anybody playing basketball. Like your team's like the injury report.
We're drafting for future potential.
Hey, the IM is dominating the IR. This is a three-peat. I'm telling you. I have lineup versatility here too.
You're playing the Twin Towers lineup, and the result's going to be the same.
You have the best player, so like you're set up pretty well. So
Maybe not
let
that
us know
much.
your thoughts. Who do you think has the best roster here? Who's
And
gonna
why is
look
it
the
me?
best a year from now?
Next year.
Not in 2026.
I am winning the 2026 title with this team.
We're redrafting again, so you're gonna have a whole new team, and I guess you take Shakira Austin next year. She's still eligible, right? Yeah. So thanks. Make your second listen Locked On Sports today, the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone.